Hello, students of class 6. So, today we are going to study chapter 3, The Turkish Judge. I will read the chapter and then I will explain you. So, here we go. Folk tales are short stories that have been verbally passed on from one generation to another. Here is a Turkish folk tale about the Turkish Caliph Harun al Rashid, who ruled Baghdad and northern Turkey. His life and his court have been the subject of many such stories. Let us read the story about a wise Qadi who helped the Caliph in the time of trouble. So, this is a story of Caliph and Qadi, and this is a folk tale. Folk tale means they are the short stories. Folk tales are the short stories which are verbally passed from one generation to another. And this story is actually a Turkish folk tale about a Turkish caliph. Caliph is a head of a state, and his name is Harun al Rashid, who ruled Baghdad and northern Turkey. Okay, and this is a story about Caliph and Qadi, and it is a folk tale, a short story. The city of Baghdad flourished under its just and upright Caliph Harun al Rashid. Wanting to see for himself how his people fared, the Caliph disguised himself as a common traveler, mounted his steed, and rode until he came to the outskirts of the town of Basra. There he saw an old man sitting by the roadside. "Help me," implored the man. The Caliph stopped and asked, "Old man, where are you going?" "I am on my way to Basra," answered the old man. The Caliph put out his hand and helped the old man onto the steed's back. Then together they rode to Basra. So here we can see that the city of Baghdad flourished under its just and upright caliph. Caliph is the head of the state, as I told you before, and his name was Harun al Rashid, and he disguised himself. Disguised means to change your appearance, to take the appearance of someone else, okay, to become someone else. Alright, so he disguised himself to see how his people fared. Fared means how his people presented, or how his peoples are living their lifestyles. Okay, so what he did, he mounted on the steed and rode until he came to the outskirts of the town of Basra. Outskirts are the outer areas, not the main, but the outer areas. So, when he came to the outskirts of the town of Basra, there he saw an old man sitting by the roadside, and he was shouting over there. He was crying for help. Okay, now as Caliph saw that old man, he asked that old man that why are you crying, or where you want to go. Okay, now here what happened, the old man replied to Caliph. He said him that I am on my way to Basra. Then the Caliph, he helped that old man onto the steed's back. Steeds is the horse riding. Okay, so the place where we sit on the horseback. So what he did, he helped the old man onto the steed's back, and then together they rode to Basra, and then together they rode to Basra. When they reached the town square, the Caliph said to the old man, "All right, you have reached your destination, but I have to ride further." "All right yourself," answered the old man rudely. "The horse is mine." The Caliph was taken aback. "Ungrateful man," he cried, "did I not pick you up from the roadside and bring you here?" "Very true," replied the man cunningly. "But can you prove it? I am a stranger in Basra, and so you are. It is your word against mine. Give me the horse and be on your way." So here we can see that this old man is so ungrateful towards this caliph. He is actually unaware that this man who has disguised himself is actually a caliph. So this situation was actually very shocking for caliph, because caliph thought that this old man would be grateful, but instead he is ungrateful and he is a cunning man. The caliph was faced with a dilemma. He knew if he forced the man off the horse, the old man would cry out and a mob would gather and turn against him. On the other hand, if he gave him 10 gold coins, the old man would let him ride away, but then he would be encouraged to cheat other people in the same way. The caliph thought for a while, and then he said to himself, I will go before the Qadi of Basra and ask him to settle the case. I may lose my horse in doing so, but at least I will get to know how wisely the Qadi of Basra dispenses justice. Now, here, after this situation happened, the caliph was perplexed. He was confused. He was in a difficult situation. He was in a dilemma, and he knew that if he forced this old man off the horse, then what would happen? This old man would cry, and a group of people, here it is mentioned a mob, that means a group of people would gather and turn against him, and they would start hurting this caliph. Then on the other hand, there was one more thing this caliph could do, that he would this caliph could give this old man 10 gold coins and let him ride away. But then, what would be the result? This old man would be encouraged to cheat other people in the same way. Okay, and the outcome would not be positive. So finally, Caliph decided that he would go before the Qadi of Basra. Qadi is the judge. Okay, so Qadi, he decided that he would go before the Qadi of Basra and ask him to settle the case. I may lose my horse in doing so, but at least I will get to know how wisely the Qadi of Basra dispenses justice. He said to himself, he thought to himself that I would go before the Qadi of Basra, and in doing this process I may lose my horse, but at least I would get to know that how this Qadi of Basra dispenses, means how he gives, how he distributes the justice. Okay, let's go to the Qadi then, said the Caliph to the old man. The old man agreed. So they went to the place where the Qadi was holding court. Two men stood before the Qadi, an oil merchant and a potter. In his hand, the potter held a piece of gold which he claimed was his. Your Honor, said the oil merchant, that coil belongs to me. I have owned it for many years and always carry it. I lost it today. Are there any witnesses? Asked the Qadi. No, Your Honor, answered the man. So finally, the Caliph and the old man decided to go before the Qadi of Basra. And when they went over there, they saw that in the court of Qadi there were two people standing in front of him. The first one was an oil merchant, and then the second was a potter. Potter is a person who carries other person's loads, people's bag and other loads. Okay, and then they were saying that, Your Honor, the coin belongs to me, the oil merchant claimed, and I have owned it for many years and I always carry it with me, and he lost it today. Then the Qadi asked him, Are there any witnesses? Then he replied to the Qadi, No, Your Honor. The Qadi asked the men to leave the coin with him and to return to the court the following day. The Caliph was puzzled, and he wondered how the Qadi would pronounce a just decision. The next case was called, and two other men approached to the Qadi. Now, here what happened? The Caliph, as he saw what happened right in front of his eyes, he was puzzled, and he was thinking, and he wondered that how this Qadi would pronounce or would give a just decision. And then what happened after he thought this? Then the next case was presented in front of the Qadi. You can see the picture of the court of Qadi. You can see the Qadi is sitting, and you can see in an orange cloth the Caliph is standing, and then the two persons, the two men are standing in front of the Qadi. So this is the scene of the court of Qadi. "What is your trade?" he asked the first. "I am a writer," answered the man. "Why are you here?" continued the Qadi. "This morning, while I was out, someone stole my book of learning." "The tailor," he said, pointing out to the other man. And now he has it and claims that the book is his. So now here there is another case in front of Qadi, and it is the case of a writer and a tailor. And here the writer is saying that this morning while he was out, one of his book, that is the book of learning, was stolen, and he says that this tailor has stolen it. And then the Qadi asked, "Did anyone witness the tailor stealing the book?" asked the Qadi. "No, Your Honor," replied the man. "Very well," said the Qadi. "Leave the book with me and return tomorrow." Next, the Qadi called the Caliph and the old man before him and enquired why they had come to the court. Now here we can see that again the same thing this Qadi said to this two men, that did anyone had witnessed the thing that this tailor has taken, or that this tailor has stolen the book? Then the writer explained that, "No, Your Honor." Then he said, "Very well, you leave this book with me and return tomorrow." And then after saying this to the two men, the tailor and the writer, he moved to the next case. The next case was of Qadi. The next case was of Caliph and the old man. "Your Honor," said the Caliph, "I am a traveler from a distant land. This man asked for my help, and taking pity on him, I brought him with me to Basra. When I asked him to dismount, he refused, and now he claims that my steed is his." Now here, as the next case of Caliph and the old man was presented before the Qadi, the Caliph said to the Qadi that, "I am a traveler from a faraway land, and this man I have helped him by taking pity on him, by being kind to him, and I brought him with me to Basra. But when I asked him to dismount, means to get down from the horse, he refused, and he claims that the steed, that the horse is his." Then the Qadi turned to the old man. "What do you have to say in your defense?" Means he's asking the old man, "Is there anything you have to say in your defense?" Then the old man replied, "The horse is mine, Your Honor," answered the old man. "I have cared for him since he was a colt," means since he was a young horse. "If that horse is taken from me, how will I live? I am old and feeble, and I can barely walk. I need my faithful horse to carry me." Here the old man wailed and forced false tears to gain the sympathy of the Qadi. So as soon as Qadi asked this old man started to wail and he started to cry, means he was showing this his false tears. he was showing the things which was not true in front of the Qadi, and he said that this horse is mine, Qadi, because I have taken his care when he was a small horse, and this is the only thing that is mine, and I need my faithful horse to carry me because I am old and feeble, so I need my horse. Then he started crying in front of the Qadi to get the sympathy of the Qadi. The Qadi calmly asked, "Have you any witnesses?" "No, Your Honor," replied the Caliph and the old man together. "Then," said the Qadi, "leave the horse in my stable and return to this courtroom tomorrow morning." So here the Qadi again asked them also that, "Do you have any witnesses?" And both of them, the Caliph and the old man, they together replied to the Qadi, "No, Your Honor." And then the Qadi replied that, "You leave your horse in my stable and return to this courtroom tomorrow morning." So there is a common thing in all these three cases that were presented in front of the Qadi, that first he asked each and every one of them that, is there any witnesses? Okay, then there was no witness with each of them, and then finally he asked the things to leave them with the Qadi, all the things that they claimed that were theirs. He asked the gold coin, the book of learning, and the horse, all these things to leave in the palace of Qadi and then return tomorrow for the judgment. The next morning, the Caliph arrived at the courtroom early, for he was keen to hear how the Qadi would decide the case of the coin and that of the book. So the next very morning, the Caliph was keen, he was eager to know this, how that Qadi would decide or how he would dispense the judgment of the coin and that of the old book. Means he was not bothered about his horse because he was a Caliph, he was having a position, okay, he must be rich. So just losing a horse wouldn't have any effect on Caliph, but he was actually, he wanted to see how this Qadi dispenses the judgment. So he was eager. So he arrived the very next morning into the courtroom. As soon as the Qadi entered the room, he ordered the oil merchant and the potter to come before him. Handing the gold coin to the old merchant, he said, "Here is your gold coin. Take it, it is rightfully yours." Now he handed this gold coin to the oil merchant and he said to the oil merchant that, "Take this gold coin, it is rightfully yours." And then he turned to the potter. "You have tried to keep what did not belong to you," he said in a stern voice. "Soldiers," he called, "take this man away from the courtroom and see that he offers his services free of charge to the oil merchant for a month." Now here the Qadi, he called the soldiers and he told the soldiers to take away the potter, and he also orders them to see if he offers his services free of charge to the oil merchant for a month. Because why? Because he tried to keep the gold coin with himself, which did not belong to the potter. So this was the first case and the first judgment of the Qadi for the first case, the judgment of the Qadi for the first case. Now the next case was of tailor and the writer. Next, the Qadi called the writer and the tailor before him. "This book of learning belongs to the writer," he said. "I now return it to him." "But, Your Honor, I swear that it is mine," protested the tailor. "Soldier, take this false swearing tailor and ensure that he pays the 5 gold coins for the trouble he has caused him," ordered the Qadi. Now he took the book of learning and he gave it to the writer. The Qadi gave it to the writer. And as he gave it to him, the tailor protested that, Your Honor, I swear that it is mine. Now, after hearing this, Qadi, he again called the soldiers and ordered them to take this false swearing. False swearing means lying. The person who is a liar. Okay, he ordered them to take this tailor away from the courtroom. So finally, the caliph and the old man were called before the Qadi. So the final case was of caliph and the old man. The Qadi addressed the old man. Why have you repaid the generosity of a stranger with ingratitude? I will make sure you mend your cunning ways. From this day on, you will be employed at the court, and it will be your duty to extend courtesy to all travelers who come to Basra. So finally, this Qadi, he told the old man, he turned towards the old man and he told that, why have you repaid the generosity, the kindness of a stranger with your ingratitude? Ingratitude is a state of not feeling or not showing great thankfulness, or someone you're showing that you are grateful towards them. Okay, and he also addressed to the old man that, I will make sure you mend your cunning ways. And from this day on, he just told the man that from this day on you will be employed, you will be employed here in the court, in my court, and it will be your duty to extend courtesy. Courtesy means you have to respect and you have to offer your services to all the travelers who come to Basra. This will be your duty. So this was the third judgment that was passed by the Qadi. Good traveler, he said, turning to the Caliph, I know that the horse belongs to you. Take it and continue on your way. May your kindness and generosity be better rewarded in the future. And then, after passing the judgment, the Qadi turned towards the Caliph and he addressed the Caliph and he said to the Caliph that, I know that this horse belongs to you, and you take this horse and you can continue on your way, and that also your kindness and the generosity that you have shown to this old man is not rewarded here, but it would be rewarded in the future. After hearing the judgment of all the three cases that was given by Qadi, the Caliph was amazed. We can see in this next paragraph. The Caliph was amazed at the justice given by the Qadi. He thanked him, stepped to the back of the bottom, and waited until everyone except the Qadi had left the courtroom. Then he approached him and said, Honored judge, I am in awe of your wisdom. How did you give such an accurate and just judgments without evidence and witnesses? Now here, after hearing the judgment, Caliph was amazed, as I told you, and he thanked Caliph and he stepped out of the courtroom and he waited until the courtroom was empty except the Qadi. And when everyone has left the courtroom, he then again approached towards Qadi and he said that, Honored judge, I am in awe, means I am amazed, I am surprised of your wisdom, and I really adore what you about your wisdom. I adore your wisdom. And he asked him that, how did you give such an accurate and just judgment without evidence and witnesses? Means without evidence and without proof and without any witness, how have you given the accurate judgment? He questioned Qadi. These cases have all been very simple, said the Qadi, smiling. Did you not hear the oil merchant say that He had carried that piece of gold for many years. I put the coin into a glass of clear water. Tiny drops of oil came up to the surface. That proved to me beyond doubt that the coin belonged to the oil merchant. Now he said that this all cases were very simple actually, and he's explaining about the first case. The first case was of the oil merchant and the potter, and he said that didn't you heard that the oil merchant was saying that he had carried this gold coin throughout his life, and so what he did after hearing the oil merchant, this Kadi, what did he do? He put the coin into a glass of clear water. And as you know, this oil doesn't get dissolved in water. So what happened? As he put the coin into a glass of clear water, he noticed, he observed that tiny drops of oil came up to the surface. And when this happened, this proved beyond doubt that the coin belonged to the oil merchant. So this is how he had given his first judgment. Now we'll see about the second judgment. That is very clever indeed, said the Caliph. But do tell me, how did you knew that the book of learning belonged to the writer? Now here Caliph is asking Qadi that this is so clever, but tell me that how you knew that the book of learning, he is asking about the second case of writer and the tailor, that how you knew that this book of learning belonged to the writer. And then he replied, that case was also quite easy to settle, replied the Qadi. On looking closely at the book, I found that the pages most used were those on which the duties of writers and scholars were written. The book belonged to the writer. So here, as he noticed the book of learning, he noticed closely, then he found that the pages which were most used on that book were the duties of writers and scholars were written on that pages. So by observing that, by noticing that, he was able to find that this belongs to the writer. Okay, so this was about the second case. And then your judgment is most wise, this Caliph is exclaiming, okay, in admiration, means he is admiring his wisdom. Okay, he is admiring the Qadi's wisdom. But how could you tell that the horse was rightfully mine? Now he is asking about his case, his own case. He is asking that how could you tell that the horse was rightfully mine? The Qadi replied, last night I had your horse put in my stable. Both you and the old man would have to pass the stable on your way to court. This morning I opened the stable door and stood behind a bale of hay. When the old man passed, the horse never looked up, but when you passed the open door, the horse stretched out its head and neighed as horses do only when a loved master approaches. So you see, my friend, the matter was very simple after all. So finally, he is explaining the third case, that how he found out this the horse was of Caliph. He is saying to the Caliph that last night I had your horse in my stable, and both of you, means you and the old man, have to pass from the stable, in front of the stable, to my way to the courtroom. Okay. Then this morning, as I opened the stable door, I stood behind a bale of hay, means a bale of hay was kept, and I stood behind it, and I was just observing from a distance. And then what happened, when I saw the old man as he passed in front of the horse never looked up. Okay, but when you passed, the horse stretched out his head and neighed as the horses do only when a loved master approaches. If you have observed, if you have pets in your home, you know that how they behave towards someone or towards the people they know, isn't it? So the same way, this horses also behave in a particular way when a loved master approaches. So what happened? The horse neighed and he stretched out his head when the caliph approached near him. So by observing this, the Qadi got to know that this horse belonged to the caliph. Okay, so in the final paragraph, the caliph is saying that your wisdom is indeed beyond compare, means your wisdom is excellent, it cannot be compared, said the caliph. Then, revealing his true identity, he said, then finally, in the end of the story, we can see that finally the caliph has revealed his true identity. He said that I am Caliph Harun al Rashid, honest judge. I now make you the grand Qadi of all Baghdad. Now he said finally that I am the caliph, and he introduced himself, Harun al Rashid, honest judge, and I make you now the grand Qadi of Baghdad. So, this is about this chapter, the Turkish judge. So, thank you and have a nice day, children.